Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to LinkedIn Tuesdays. Very glad you're with us today. It is February 22nd, 2022 or 2/22/22. So today is the day for all your twos. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please just put them into the chat box. For those on Facebook, you can put your questions in the comment field. We are monitoring both the feeds. We'll be sure to get those questions answered for you. Please note this event is being recorded and is currently live on Facebook. The recording will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording, and you're welcome to network with each other. So if you'd like to put your contact information in there so you can network with everybody else on the call, you're welcome to do so. Well, good morning or good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org to help those who were unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I started a second website, careerusa.org, to help those outside the DFW area. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search that you may not know. It is available on Amazon. Since 2007, I've been facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. The group's been around since the late 1990s, and I will tell you about our upcoming program that we have coming up this Friday at the end of this session. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team. If you like to practice your interviewing skills, the PIC Crew is a great way to be able to do so. We have 4 outstanding speakers who talk about LinkedIn. They rotate through on a monthly basis. Today, our speaker is VandeMotter. He's a retained search executive consultant with Linked Executive Search. Kurt, thank you for being with us, and I'll turn it over to you. Oh, you're muted.
How's that? There we go. So I can share my screen, right?
Yes.
Hi, everybody. How are you all today? Thanks for joining us. I kind of start off every one of these in the same fashion, and that is that this is your meeting. It's not my meeting. So if you've got questions, you came to this because you want to learn about LinkedIn and how recruiters use LinkedIn, or you want to have a conversation with a recruiter, I'm your guy. So if you've got questions, this meeting is yours. This is your hour. I've got some information I'm going to share with you and hopefully enlighten you a little bit about LinkedIn and give you an insight of what recruiters look at. But at the end of the day, I don't want you to go away with any questions that you've got. So let's take advantage of that. Jeff is really good about helping me keep an eye on the message board. So if you've got messages, we don't have to wait till the end. Go ahead and throw your message onto the board right away, and we'll get to it immediately. First and foremost is finding a job is a full-time job, and it's the hardest job you'll ever have. And so it's, I tell people that it sucks. Looking for a new job sucks, but I want you all to try to have as good an attitude as you possibly can. And so hopefully some tips and suggestions along the way here will give you some insight into ways that you can improve your chance of having conversations with recruiters or with the target audience that you're trying to get to. Okay. Just a little bit about myself so that it just adds a little bit of credibility to the whole situation, I think. And that is, I started this business about 15 years ago. And I'm recognized by Forbes magazine today as the best retained search firm in the state of Texas and number 10 in the United States. And I'm a single shingle, so that's pretty unusual for a small operation, because I'm competing against the Stanton Chases and all the big guns out there that you guys hear about and come knocking at your door, hopefully, Corn Ferry and the likes of. I'm struggling with allergies today, guys, so excuse me if I blow my nose. It's not COVID. I feel fine. I just got this head full of congestion. So my apologies for you having to listen to me sniffle and snooze and blow my nose. So what you're looking at right here is a dashboard of, of Recruiter Advanced Search. This is a product that I purchased from LinkedIn, and I hold a license. They started this about, gosh, 8 or 10 years ago, probably 10 years ago now. And LinkedIn Recruiter, for everybody on the call, is really, it's built on a separate set of APIs. So LinkedIn Recruiter, they took the foundation of LinkedIn, and that's everybody that's on this call and the other millions of people that that use the LinkedIn service. And that's kind of the foundation, if you might say, of LinkedIn. And then they built this separate set of APIs on top of LinkedIn that syncs in. But the key is that what you really need to know is that when I'm in LinkedIn Recruiter, you cannot see me as a candidate, okay? So there is a section that you could click on, and it shows you the people that have looked at your profile over the last month or the last week or the last few days. Those people are not using LinkedIn Recruiter, okay? And in the day, and I kid about this, but the day that LinkedIn changes that, and they allow you as a candidate to have visibility into when I check your profile, even when I'm using LinkedIn Recruiter, will probably be the day that everybody quits using the product, because it would completely go against my time management, because I look at probably 300 profiles, 200 profiles a day. And if all those people were reaching out to me saying, hey, I saw you just looked at my profile, that would be a problem. I wouldn't get anything done. So when I'm on LinkedIn Recruiter, you cannot see me as a recruiter. I'm invisible to you. So that's the first thing. Go back to retained search. So let's just go through a real brief. I think it's always helpful for people, Jeff, if I give them a quick overview of the recruiting lay of the land. So in the recruiting world, and it's really important that you know this, that there's really three kinds of recruiters. There's internal recruiters, okay? And these are the people that work for the company, and they are responsible for recruiting for that organization, okay? And so an AT&T has got 100 recruiters. They're recruiting for customer service, they're recruiting for sales, they're recruiting for the executive suite. So they've got a very robust, as an example, recruiting team. But a lot of companies don't have that. So when they come to having to search for a new VP of marketing or a new CFO or a new CEO, many times what they do is they go into their network and they find people that they've worked with as recruiters or know as recruiters. And most HR people have a pretty good Rolodex of recruiters that they've used in the past. Sometimes they go out and do research, and that's how they land in my desk. But there's two types of external recruiters. There's contingent recruiters, okay? And contingent recruiters, a company can hire 2 or 3 or 4 contingent recruiters to fill one job. And the only guy that gets paid, or the only person that gets paid, is the person that fills that job. So that's a contingent recruiter. And they're not exclusive on the job typically. Now, sometimes companies will hire retained search or a contingent firm and not hire 5 other firms. But for the most part, there's more than one firm looking to fill that job. And they get paid a reduced amount of money based on filling that position. And then the last search organization are retained search people. And that's the category that I fall into. And so companies hire me, they find me, and they pay me a retainer up front to fill a job. And then they pay me money to successfully close that job and to find them the right candidate. I'm always the only one that works on it. I'm retained, so I'm not competing against anybody else. And the fees are a little bit higher in the retained search than they are in the contingent search. Now, why is it important for you to know that? It's important because when you get a phone call and somebody says, I'm a recruiter, I want you to have the confidence to ask them, what kind of recruiter are you? Are you an internal recruiter? Are you working for the company? Are you a retained search recruiter? In that fact, you know that they're the only person that's working on that search. You know that they're exclusive. You know that they've been paid money up front to fill that job. And so now you know the lay of the land and the personality a little bit more about that person or that executive that's calling you to have that discussion. You know where they fit the landscape and you know what their role is. So internal recruiters, they're less likely to take chances on candidates, new candidates, because they know exactly what they're looking for. And they know what the hiring manager is looking for. Outside recruiters have a tendency sometimes to take the blinders off a little bit more and maybe present candidates that might not be in the exact sweet spot. I'll give you an example. I'm working on a search for I'm working on a search in Florida for a regional vice president in the consumer packaged goods business. But the things that are really important in this company is I'm looking for somebody that's got strong operations, manufacturing, process improvement, and distribution experience. And so one of the candidates that I presented to them came out of GE. And he's actually interviewing with the company later this week. He's got some CPG in his background, consumer packaged goods. He's got lots of manufacturing. He's got lots of process improvement. GE is known for their process improvement. That's one of the things that people are known for coming out of GE. So he's not a typical CPG guy that's coming out of Pepsi or Frito-Lay, but coming at it from a different angle. And that's my job, is to not eliminate those candidates or not eliminate those people, to keep the blinders off and to maybe take a different view than the company would if they were trying to fill this job. And that's hopefully what recruiters bring to the table other than great candidates. So that's a little bit about recruiting. That's a little bit about who I am and what I've been doing. I came out of corporate America, not as an HR director, but as a sales, marketing, and operations person. So let's get into LinkedIn. This is what I look at every time I click in my LinkedIn recruiter package. So what LinkedIn has done is they've created and given me really the ability to almost run a mini applicant tracking system. You hear about that with people or companies talking about the applicant tracking systems and so forth, but that's what this really ends up being. The very first thing I'm going to click on here is one, I think it's one of the most important, and that's what we call spotlights. This is my total network. So I haven't put any search criteria in here. You can see all the different things that we could search for. You can see, all the different pop-ups, different things that I can look for, people in groups. But to begin with, I've got about 800,000 people that are total candidates that are in my network that I can search. Okay. So then when I'm doing a search, one of the first things that I look at and I click on are these categories here. So what are they? Most likely or more likely to respond. Did you know that LinkedIn tracks you? Every time you don't send a message, they put you into a box that tells recruiters that you're less likely to reply. Okay. So what I want you to take away from this, first of all, is make sure that every message you get in LinkedIn, you are replying to them, even if it's just thanks, I'm not interested, regardless, whatever it is, thanks, I'll be in touch. Let me see if I know anybody. It doesn't have to be long. but make sure you're replying to every message. Okay. Then these are people that are engaged in my brand. That's not critical because I don't really search for that. Have connections and past applicants. But these are the ones that I'm most concerned about is open to work. Okay. You've heard a lot of conversation about that over the time. And this is that umbrella that, or I call it the wreath that they put around your head. You can select two options. You can either tell everybody in your network that you're open to work by putting that wreath that says you're open to work, or you can select one that just tells recruiters that are using LinkedIn that you're open to new work, okay? But regardless, if you're an active candidate, and a definition of an active candidate is somebody that is unemployed and actively looking for a new job, versus a passive candidate that is actively looking for a new job, but they have a job already. So if you're an active candidate, why not tell everybody, whether they're using LinkedIn Recruiter or not, that you're actively looking and self-select that you're open to work by selecting that box, okay? And then make sure that you're more likely to reply by replying to all the messages that I send people. Look at the number here. 79,000 out of that 800 are more likely to reply. That tells you there's a lot of people out there that don't reply to messages, okay? And I can tell you that I have one of the higher percentages of reply rates in LinkedIn. I used to run up in the 30% category. 30% of the notes that I would send out would get a reply, but that number's gone way down lately. And I don't really know what's going on, whether it's my inability to write good emails or people just are too busy to reply. I don't know, but there's a huge differential between those two numbers, and that would indicate how crazy the market really is. Jeff, any questions so far?
None yet.
Okay. So let's say that I am conducting a search, and I'm going to go ahead and do a live search, one that I'm working on right now. Okay. And it is, I'm looking for, I don't care if they are current or past. And the title that I'm looking for is I'm looking for a and I don't normally do this kind of work, but this is a client of mine that I've done a lot of work for. I've got one of my partners doing most of the work on it, but it's a CNC machinist. I'm using that because I'm not going to run into anybody that's on this call or that will know anybody likely. But I'm looking for this person. I put in their job titles, and you can see that you can put in all kinds of tool titles: machine builder, tool maker, current or past. The location I'm looking for this person is over in the Tampa area. So I'm going to put in Tampa, Florida, and I'm going to use the greater area. And then I could put in skills and assessment. I could put in companies if I wanted to. I could put in schools, industries. In this case, I'm not really I don't care about food production. It's more in a manufacturing environment. I could put in employment type, full-time, part-time contract, network relationships. How many people am I first connected to, second, and so forth. I can use first names if I know somebody's first name. I can come in here and let's say that I'm looking for somebody that's got language skills. I could put in, whether they've got those particular skills for this environment. But the bottom line is, as a recruiter, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to cast the biggest net I possibly can first, okay? And so I don't want to put a lot of filters in there because I want to try to see, okay, in this case, I got 909 people, okay? That's a lot of candidates. can't look at 909 candidates in an hour. I can look at about 120 as my max, but I can't look at 900. So I'm looking at a pretty good number of people. And as recruiters, if I'm looking to fill this particular job, there's certain things that I'm looking for. And I just start scrolling through as I start to find those people. And I'm literally looking for CNC startup, a setup mechanic, CoMed Corporation. Okay. This is somebody that I might want to talk to. Again, my nose, I'm sorry, guys. This is not very easy for you guys to listen to me sniffle and snag here. But once I get to that candidate, I can read about their background. If I put keywords in there, they're going to be highlighted in their summary section or in their experience section. But I can see quite a bit about this person, get to see where they went to school, what they got degrees in, the jobs that they've had. If there's a company that I'm not familiar with, I could click on that particular job and I go to a landing page. Well, in that particular case, it's going to give me a whole bunch of people that work. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. Let's go back. Let's close that out. If I click on this ConMed, it'll take me to a landing page that'll tell me about ConMed and what they do. So they're a medical device operator. I can see that they're a global medical device technology, specialized in development of sales surgical. Okay, so, okay, well, that's what they do. No, I don't really want anybody out of medical, but maybe he knows some people that I would like to talk to. So what I'm using this platform for is to build a pipeline of candidates, okay? So he's somebody that I'd like to talk to. So I can go in here and put him in a pipeline. And I've got a CNC. I haven't contacted him, so I leave it unconnected and I say save. And then I can go on to the next candidate. Now, let's just talk about this particular candidate because I think that he's done a pretty good job in a couple of categories. One is, one of the things that we recommend to employees that are looking for new work is that we want to build out our LinkedIn profile and make it as robust as we possibly can. And one of the ways that we do that is, first and foremost, is make sure that this summary section is completely filled up and that you've used all the words and the characters that you could use. Really important. But the thing that he is missing is, let's see, he's open to work. Okay, so he's giving me that right here, open to work. And he's given me some of the titles that he'd like to have. Okay. But he hasn't shared with me his email and his phone number in here. So the only option, if I want to get a hold of Charles, I've only got two options. One would be what? Send him an email. Okay, so real easily, I click. I've got a template over here that I can use that has the role. Template's not there. We're not going to go into that right now. I'm not going to waste everybody's time, but I have templates that I can choose from and write somebody an email and send them something. If there's not a template there, then I can write them a personalized note. Okay. And then I can save them to a project, and you saw how I do that. Now, again, pretty good use of words in real estate as far as some of the work that he's done. He's given me the jobs. That's good and solid. He graduated, doesn't tell me what year, but that's okay. I don't have to know that right now. He could probably give a little bit more detail on what he's done and his accomplishments within these companies. I would tell you that many times candidates cut and paste out of their resume for these to fill these fields, and I recommend that you don't do that. This is a section we want to have, and we want to see sentences about what you've done and how you've done it. So I would take the chance, I would take this real estate and turn it into more of a composition of the things that you've done, using all the key words to differentiate yourself from other candidates. Okay. Any questions, Jeff?
There was, let's see here. Rick says, I see a long list of words in his heading that aren't job titles, but
Oh,
adjectives.
shoot.
What do you think of this?
Oh, gosh. I just dropped that whole thing. Hold on. Let me go back again. Wait a minute. Sorry.
Well, Rick,
Let's-
I can just tell you, yes, you want job titles that people would be searching for you. Yes, it's nice to have one or two adjectives to say that you're an accomplished CNC person or something, but you don't want to have just all adjectives, because that doesn't, from a search standpoint, recruiters don't search for adjectives. They search for job titles and keywords.
That's right. That's right.
And let's see, there was one other question. Let's see here. Responding to messages. Richard said, messages from people, not posts. So yeah, anytime you want to respond to any message you get, any email you get, or any message you get through your message board, but posts that show up in your main search field are not necessary.
Right. Okay, let me try to get the screen back again, guys. I got ahead of myself and jumped right out of it. Hold on just a second. What is wrong here? Come on. Hope you're all not having to witness this right now, because it's not fun. Please, let's try different search full. Sorry, Jeff.
Okay. Yeah, we just see you at this point. We're not seeing your.
Yeah, no, I'm coming back up here with.
Okay. Clicked on one too many X's, I guess.
Yeah. Let's go back here. I think I got it pulled up now. Share screen. Let's see if I can find something in LinkedIn here. Let's go here. Shucks. Okay, go home page. Let's see here. It's my home page. Let's go to advanced. Okay, so now we go back to advanced. I can actually start a new search. This gives you a feel of the range and the motion of what a recruiter can look at. I mean, it really becomes endless. But the biggest key is when we're looking for candidates is that we want to get a hold of people. We want to start to create conversations as quickly as possible. Oh man. If anybody's got an allergy, any allergy medicine, let me know. Remedies. So what you're trying to do is you could see, if I go back to do that, if I go back to my recruiter and I go to history and I go to this search again, how do you get the attention of a recruiter that's got 900 people that he can look at? Okay. Now it's even more than that. Oh, because I didn't put the title in here. Let's go to location, back to location. CNC2, there's 2 people. Wow. Not many people to choose from, right? So I'm very limited in that market. I'm gonna have a hard time filling that job, guys. Let's go. Give me another job title, Jeff.
Well, if you want to make it more broad, how about, a project manager, product manager?
It's just not my day. Okay, let's go project manager. Let's go Tampa, because we like Tampa. It's warm over there today.
Yeah, we visit Tampa quite often.
Okay, here he comes. Okay, so there's 11,000 people that have project management in their profile, current or past, and they live in the Tampa area. That is a lot of people. There's no way that I can look at 11,000 people, okay? So at some point, I have to start to figure out, what is it that I'm looking for? Am I looking for somebody that's got experience in construction, contractors? I'm looking for a superintendent, construction again, software project manager, okay? Real estate project manager, advertising project manager. You can see there's a lot of different project managers that a recruiter can look at. And you gotta figure out a way to get through that clutter. So if you're a project manager in Tampa and you're a, let's say that you're a project manager in Tampa and your industry is legal, okay? Legal services, okay? Well, now we only have 42 out of 11,000. I can go through 42, or I can click on all of them and message them. Send them all a message in one big fell swoop. Okay, everybody gets one message. So that's how easy it is for recruiters to, communicate with people, to build their funnels if they want to. Now, I wouldn't send out a group message like that. I'd go through each one of them to find out, because there's only 42, which one of these candidates really fits the profile of what I'm looking for. But mistakes that candidates make: no picture. Gail, shame on you, no picture, okay? We could tear apart the rest of it here as well. Virtually no summary section, okay? Not actively looking, so she's probably very happy working where she's at, okay? She's been in this role for 3 years before she was an owner, okay? So I get a pretty good idea who she is, but if she was, even as a passive candidate, I only have one choice now. And chances are that I would even send Gail a note would probably be minimal, unless there was a company here that was really somebody that I was interested in recruiting out of, because I don't know enough about Gail. Okay. I could save her to a project and keep her warm for a while, but I'm probably, because I'm trying to find candidates that I can talk to, I'm probably going to more likely go on to the people that that provide me with a picture, provide me with a little bit more detail about what they've done, what they want to do. Here's a summary with nothing in it, okay? Obviously, he's not looking for a new job, which is fine. But these are the people that are really, these are the people that are really hard to get a hold of. The only other option I've got, and I do it on a regular basis, is I know this guy's name, okay? His name is Brian Bergen, and he works for Pro Team Global Partners. So I'll go find this organization and I'll just call him and see if I can get the guy live on the phone. But that still is a lot of lifting before I even know a lot more about Brian. I would rather have an email or something that I could start a conversation with Brian before I just reach out and start to talk to him on the phone. Any other notes, Jeff?
Yeah, Rick asked, how important to recruiters are recommendations that connections can make on your profile?
Well, I'll tell you what, you're not going to like the answer to this. They're not, it's not that they're not important, but sometimes what we do is we use them for other things. And we will take a recommendation, we'll go try to recruit that person. Yeah. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but if you don't check all the boxes for what we're looking for, then we might come down and see if somebody's written a recommendation, if there's a way that we can get a hold of one of those people. So they're not something that we look at on a regular basis, because most likely recommendations were written a long time ago or a while ago. They're not always current. And when I want recommendations from a candidate because I'm ready to make an offer to them, then I'm going to go get current recommendations.
So is it, if you've only have recommendations from, the 2019, 18, 17, 16, better to just not have any recommendations on there?
I keep the recommendations, but if you really want to keep them up, then I just try to go get something that's a little bit more current.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But, again, you can see the difference between the types of pictures that people put on their LinkedIn profiles. I generally recommend to people they go more to the professional side, not a picture with you and your significant other, especially if your name is Chris, because I don't know if you are the female or the male. So black or white doesn't matter. You can see, a lot of different views on pictures, but the biggest key for candidates that are actively looking, and there aren't any in this batch here that have the ribbon around their neck. Let's go. See if we can find somebody that is actively looking. See if there's some.
So the 42, just 7 people are open.
Yep.
Said they're open to work.
Yep, exactly. So you can see that they've got the open to work here at the bottom, but they haven't put nobody has put the wreath around their head. But look at here. Here she's open to work, but not a very robust summary section. Okay. It's a I don't want to say it's a crapshoot, but I would send her a note. I would send Jenny a note, but wouldn't have very high expectations that I'd ever hear back from her. From any of these people, really.
Right.
And you guys can't. You think it's fun? It's not funny, but I'm working on about 5 different searches right now, and I've sent out a lot of notes to people, and I'm just amazed at the few number of people that reply back to me. It's really crazy these days, and I don't know that it could be a reflection on my note that I'm not engaging candidates enough, but the fact that people aren't going and looking at their LinkedIn and replying back to people is very, very interesting.
So a couple questions about that wreath. The ribbon around their neck, does that negate negotiation opportunities in your opinion?
No.
No? Okay.
Now, and here's why. I just wrote an article on this, Jeff, and companies can't shortchange during this type of environment. I mean, so we're in this great resignation right now, where 50% of the people that are actively working are actively looking for a new job. So the competition out there is greater than it's ever been for candidates. But the fact is that we can't underestimate the market. Okay. I've got a client I'm working with down in Houston. I'm looking for a controller, and all that the company will pay is $120,000. That's it. That's all they got a budget for. So I don't even want to tell you how long I've worked on the job, but it's kind of an embarrassment. The bottom line is that I continue to share with them data about the trends in the marketplace, and the trend is $140,000. Okay, I haven't been able to find anybody in that market. I have found people, but they're not the people that they'd want to hire. And you'll say, well, why would you want to hire them? Well, they've had 12 jobs in the last 5 years. They haven't finished their, any of their accreditations. They may not have worked in the right industry. There's just a lot of different things. But when companies don't, I know I'm going around the long way, but you don't have to worry about being shortchanged these days, because if they hire you and they offer you $80,000 and your last job you were making $100,000, you're going to continue to look for a job. And they know that. They should know that. So shortchanging candidates is not an option in today's market.
All right, Jeff put on here, I've heard that if you leave the open to work circle on your LinkedIn photo, it alerts recruiters that you're either not hireable or you're difficult to place. Is that the feeling about this as well?
Okay.
No, that's not true at all. I mean, it's
okay, sweetheart.
Look,
The artist came back with 7,800.
Let me see it.
Sorry about that. Let me
Hold on a second. Why can't
There we go.
no, there's nothing desperate. There's nothing crazy about the wreath. It's just a visual for recruiters. Not every recruiter pays to use LinkedIn Recruiter. So it's a signal for recruiters that are just using regular LinkedIn to do their searches that you are actively looking for a new job. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, I know that was a topic of discussion among the four of you all, the four LinkedIn speakers, and everybody put their opinions out there. And Terry Sullivan said that he had interviewed like 50 different recruiters. 45 of them said, yes, use the green banner. 5 of them said, well, that does make you look a little bit desperate. But, my whole point is you're looking for a job, you're looking for the most opportunities for people to find you and know that you're looking for work. I know a recruiting firm here in DFW that's got 30 recruiters and none of them paid for the recruiting package.
Yeah.
So they're just using basic LinkedIn to go and search through groups to find people.
Yep. And it can be done. It's heavy lifting, but it can be done.
Right. Also, some of your friends, you may not know, but some of your acquaintances may run across your profile and go, oh, I didn't know you were looking for a job. Let me reach out to you. So it's just a way to let people know. Listen, everybody today has been hired, fired, laid off, right-sized, upsized, downsized. It's not the stigma it was 20 years ago.
100%. And I remember back to those days with Dennis O'Hagan sitting around the room and talking about whether, how do you answer this question and that question about being unemployed? But Jeff, you're absolutely right. Everybody today has been unemployed, fired for something, even if it's just downsizing. And there's nothing to be ashamed of it. It's not like the old days. I remember when my dad, when I was growing up, lost his job, and he came home and told the family, and he said, it's table talk. And table talk was the conversation that you didn't talk about with your friends or anybody else outside the house. Well, those days are gone. Today, the rule is when you become unemployed, you want to try to tell everybody you know to try to spread the word, because when other people know, then they can tell other people, and other people can tell other people. So it's a telephone effect.
Richard asked a question. When companies use external recruiters, is the company primarily budgeting for the position, or are they budgeting for the position and the recruiter's compensation?
Good question. The bigger organizations, each of the departments have recruiting budgets so that when they have to go outside and look for somebody that they've got a budget. But I wouldn't look at it as, if the question is the total package that they've got budgeted 250,000 and they're looking at having to make an offer for $200,000 to the candidate, they still got to turn around and pay the recruiter $60,000, and now they're out of budget. That doesn't happen ever. Again, Richard, companies are looking for the for the best candidates. They don't want to always negotiate. Now, there's going to be certainly exceptions to that. But I'm working with one client here in Dallas, and we've got a budget of $120,000 for a research and analytics person in the consumer packaged goods business. And I presented a candidate that's currently working and is at $125,000 with a $20,000 bonus. Well, this company doesn't pay bonuses. And they only wanted to pay $120,000 for the search, but they love this candidate. So they're willing to talk to him. And they know that if they get to the point of liking him enough to make him an offer, they're going to have to offer him $140,000 to $145,000 because that's what $145,000 to $150,000. That's what his package is. He's not a $125,000 candidate. And people and clients know that. And if they don't, they're not going to get the candidate.
All right, Rick put on here, asked a question, said, you mentioned that we shouldn't copy paste from our resume into the specific job summary. So
Yep.
What's the better strategy for the real estate on my profile?
Yep. Write it out, tell a story about what you did and who you managed and what your responsibilities were, using all those keywords, but differentiate that. It just gives you the ability to use more words in each of those than to just do bullets. And it's differentiating when they look at your resume, they see different content. So you're giving them a little bit of both.
Keywords are the important thing here. Getting
Keywords are critical.
Keywords and results, because you want to, when they do look at your profile, they want to see what can you do for them that you've done at that other company.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else have any other questions? You're welcome to unmute your mic if you want.
Jeff, it's Jeff Serrano.
Yeah, Jeff.
I have a question. So, Kurt, how do you deal with, I guess, the question of ageism? If you have a company or organization, I mean, if somebody has got 25, 30 years of experience, that's probably a bit of a red flag that that person is in a certain age bracket. You can present that resume to the client, assuming that they may be looking for somebody younger.
Well, the age question comes up all the time with candidates, doesn't as much with companies. But you can't hide your age, okay? I used to, there's a friend of mine that I see every month and we get together on a regular basis. And when he was going through his job search, he dyed his hair black. And I was like, dude, you can't hide your age. I mean, at some point they're going to figure it out. Even if it gets to the point where you fill out a job application, you got to put everything on there. It's a legal document. So don't try to hide your age. Some companies have an appetite for it and others don't. I'm working for a company that they're in the beef business. I'm looking for a CFO. The last CFO is retiring after 32 years. Would they like somebody that's 35 years old that can do that job for another 30 years? Absolutely. They'd love that person. But that doesn't mean that person's available. So would they consider somebody that's 55 years old that has, maybe 15 years in their background? Maybe somebody that's 60 that's got 10 years in their background? Absolutely. If we can find the right person with the right experience, then we're not really concerned about age at all. So I think candidates make a bigger deal of it than companies do, for sure.
All right. Rick says, beside a flat Google search, what's the best way to find keywords for the job roles I've done and what I'm seeking?
Good idea. Go look at job descriptions. I'll tell a story. When I coach people, many times there's younger people that I'm coaching that are looking for, they're a director today and they want to be a vice president. Okay. So one of the things I encourage them to do is go look at vice president job descriptions and look at the things that you need to be able to do or that you've done. One of them might be that you've got to have 20 years of experience. Well, you're only 10 years out of school. You don't have 20 years of experience, but look at all the other things that they're looking for that vice president to have. So as an example, they want you to have P&L experience. Well, if you're a director and you don't have P&L experience today, then you better go get P&L experience. But let's say that you do have P&L experience, but you haven't put it into your LinkedIn profile, then that's a trigger for you to highlight it and go put it in. So I just think by looking at job descriptions and just highlighting keywords, Rick, are going to be a great way for you to build out, make that more robust than it is today.
And also, it's probably a good idea to just type in the job title you're looking for on LinkedIn and look at the top 10 candidates that pop up and go, what do they have in their job search that made them pop up?
Right.
Oh, I've done that too. Let me list that. Let me list that also. So, check out other profiles.
Yeah, I used to coach candidates. That's a great tool to make your profile the best it could be, is to go out there and look at other executives that do similar things to you and look at their profiles. What do they have in their profile? And there's nothing wrong with going in and copying somebody's profile, putting it into a Word document, go look at the next guy or next gal, copy 20 of them into a Word document. Now you've got a 15-page document, go make it yours. You've got a lot of great content. You got a lot of great words. Now just make it yours. Put the spin on it so it's you.
All right. So I guess, Kurt, if you could sum up 1 or 2 or 3 things that you'd want candidates to do to make it easy so that you can find them, what would it be?
Yeah. So first and foremost is give us your contact information right in LinkedIn, your email address and your phone number so that it's super easy for us to reach you. You can take that out after you've found your job if you don't want to continue phone calls, but make it super easy for recruiters to reach you. Make sure you reply to all messages and then take advantage of all that real estate and give us all the keywords and things that you've done, because I didn't demonstrate it here today, but many times we use very long Boolean strings to help identify and reach people that we wouldn't normally get to by just using the protocol that LinkedIn's got.
Well, Kurt, thank you very, very much. Thank you for your time today. Feel better. Go take some allergy medicine.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to call my doctor back.
Yeah. So next week, our speaker is Locke Alderson. He's going to talk about how to use LinkedIn for job hunting strategies to get results. All right. I need everybody, if you will, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jeff Morris, promise to always send a personal note whenever I send a LinkedIn request to connect with anyone. This includes when I use my cell phone or my computer. Very, very important. Whenever you see a white connect button, if you click on a white connect button, it will automatically send that generic request out. What you want to do is you want to look for a blue connect button, because a blue connect button will always allow you to send a personal note. Career DFW and Career USA, we're putting on training 4 days a week. Tonight, actually, we have a special program coming up tonight at 7 o'clock. the 4 main areas of your job search to focus on. This will be on Zoom only. You can get the link on the Career DFW or Career USA Facebook page. Tomorrow for interviewing Wednesdays, the practice interview team will be conducting an actual practice interview. It's only going to be on Zoom. It will not be recorded to view after the event, so you're welcome to join us for that. This Thursday, it'll be, we're on the 4th Thursday of the month, so we'll be talking all about networking. Tom Jackson, who was a job seeker, is currently employed, and he's going to talk about what he did in his job search, how he found his next great opportunity. And then this Friday at the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group meeting, Elizabeth Lyons will be with us to talk about how to vet a company. Working for you isn't working for me. How do you ask, what questions should you ask a company when you're looking, when you're considering that company, if this is a place I really want to be? You're welcome to join the Career DFW and Career USA LinkedIn groups. We have over 13,500 members, a great way to expand your connections. You do not need to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area to join the Career DFW group. This session has been recorded. It will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel. Please follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel, click on playlist. Otherwise, you just get a jumbled mess of all the different videos that have been popped up there. I wish this would be the default view, but it's not. The home page just shows them all when you originally go there. And then pick the title the subject that you want, and then down below, click where it says View Full Playlist. Up will come a list of all the different dates and titles that were talked about, and you can go back and watch any one of those videos at your convenience. If you're not receiving emails about our workshops and you'd like to join the Career USA mailing list, you'll never be spammed, but what you will get is the title of the day, the topic of the day, and most importantly, the Zoom link of the day. That way you can just click on the Zoom link and join our program that we have going on. Career USA, the +, subscribe at groups.io. Please remember, Career DFW, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We have no full or part-time employees. Kurt was a volunteer. All of our speakers are volunteer. I'm a volunteer. Everything I've done over the last 13 years has just been to help you land your next great opportunity. So thank you for joining us today, everybody. Have a great rest of the afternoon, and hopefully we'll see you later in the week.